Welcome to another edition of the More You Know Co. podcast that's all about the people and places of Northern Colorado. Today, Al and Allie deep dive into how taking time off can increase customer service, health, and productivity. This episode is sponsored by the Wineland team with RE/MAX Alliance. With over 30 years experience, you're in good hands with the Wineland team.
It feels like everyone's always on the go these days.
Always on the go.
Right. Work, family.
Yeah.
Just the to-do list never ends.
Mm.
It's like we're all hamsters on a wheel sometimes, you know?
I know exactly what you mean.
But what if slowing down was actually the key to getting ahead?
Interesting.
That's what we're looking at today. We're going to unpack this idea.
Okay.
So we found this blog post by the Wineland team.
Okay.
They're a real estate group over in Fort Collins, Colorado.
Uh-huh.
So we're going to dive deep into their blog post today.
Okay.
And try to figure out why they see time off as essential.
Essential.
Not a luxury.
I like that.
Yeah. For success, like in work A&D life.
It does seem a bit counterintuitive though, right? Right.
You have this real estate team in a super competitive field choosing to focus on well-being.
Yeah. It really makes you think.
It does. It challenges how we usually think about success.
Absolutely. And they don't sugarcoat things either. They come right out and say that always being on is a trap.
Yeah.
And they talk about the toll it takes, like right at the beginning of the blog post. They lay out the problem with this whole always-on mentality.
I see.
They say it's not just about being tired. It's about not reaching your full potential.
That's when it really hits home.
Yeah.
When it starts to affect your performance.
Exactly. And that's where the science comes in and backs them up. There's a ton of research now that shows chronic stress, that feeling of always being on.
Mm-hmm.
It actually messes with how our brains work.
Like how so?
It affects our decisions, our problem solving, even our creativity.
Why?
Burnout isn't just some feeling. It has a real measurable impact.
So they're saying pushing ourselves to the limit
Yeah.
is actually a recipe for disaster. Kinda, yeah. It's like they're saying we're not machines.
Right.
We're humans. We have limits.
Yeah.
And if we keep draining our energy without recharging,
Yeah.
it's like driving a car without ever changing the oil.
Eventually something's going to break.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder how many of us are running on fumes
Yeah.
without even realizing it.
Probably a lot more than we think.
So this blog post is more than just saying take a vacation.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a wake-up call.
A wake-up call to what?
To recognize the hidden costs of this always-on culture.
I see.
And to question our assumptions about what success really means.
That's a big one.
Yeah. And it's not just about work either.
Right.
The Wineland team talks a lot about family too.
Oh, okay.
And how this busyness affects our relationships.
Yeah. It's easy to get so caught up in work that we neglect our personal lives.
And that has consequences.
Absolutely. Studies show that strong family connections are key.
Right.
Our emotional health, mental health.
Interesting.
They can even help us succeed professionally.
So it's not just about being a better employee.
Nope.
It's about being a better parent, better friend,
Yeah,
a better person all around.
It's about understanding that real success isn't just about climbing the ladder. It's about living a good life, a full life.
I like that.
Yeah.
And that's where this deep dive gets really interesting. Because the Wineland team doesn't just talk about the problem.
Oh.
They share how they've actually created a different kind of work culture.
One that values time off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They even tell a story about how they put it into practice.
I always find stories help me understand things better.
Oh, for sure.
It's one thing to hear about something,
Yeah.
but to see how a real team does it makes it real.
And their story is pretty unexpected.
Mm-hmm.
They talk about how even in real estate,
Which is known for being so demanding.
right, with deadlines and pressure to close deals,
Yeah.
they've built a system that lets them take breaks
Wow.
without sacrificing their clients or their business.
So they're basically flipping the script, how we view success.
Yeah. Instead of seeing time off as a reward for working hard or something you squeeze in if you have time,
Yeah.
they've made it part of their work structure.
So they're saying taking time off isn't just about relaxing.
Yeah.
It's a strategic advantage.
That's a really interesting way to look at it.
It is. It's realizing that rest and rejuvenation, they're not the enemy of productivity.
Okay.
They're essential for it.
So how does that actually work?
Yeah. How does
Yeah.
a real
I
estate...
mean, one of the most competitive industries out there.
Yeah.
Build a system that allows for regular breaks.
That's the million-dollar question.
That's what we're going to explore next. We were just talking about how the Wineland team actually built this system that lets them prioritize time off.
Right.
So what makes their system tick? What are the key ingredients?
It's interesting because it's not just about having a generous vacation policy.
Okay.
It's about the whole culture. you know? Trust and shared responsibility. They structured their team so everyone can take time off, knowing their colleagues have got their back and that the clients are always taken care of.
So it's not just about individuals taking breaks.
Right.
It's about the system supporting those breaks.
Exactly.
But I think a lot of people listening might be thinking, that's great for them, but I could never pull that off at my job.
You're right. It's easy to think that it only works in certain fields or with certain types of teams, but what's so cool about the Wineland team is that they break down their approach into these principles.
Principles.
Yeah. And you can apply them in lots of different situations.
So let's get into those principles.
Yeah.
What are some of the key takeaways?
One of the biggest things is clear communication.
Communication.
Yeah. Everyone knows the roles, who's responsible for what. And they have clear protocols for when someone's out of the office.
Like what to do with client requests, emergencies, that kind of thing.
Exactly. It takes away that anxiety of thinking. Everything's going to fall apart if I'm not there to micromanage.
So it's like they have these systems in place.
Yeah.
Where no one person has to be the hero all the time.
Right. It's not about one indispensable person.
Okay.
And then what else? Another big thing is delegation. Empowering your team members to own their roles, to trust them to handle things when you're gone.
That makes sense.
It not only frees people up to take breaks, it also builds ownership and accountability within the team.
So it's a win-win.
Totally benefits everyone.
Okay, what else?
They also talk about setting boundaries.
Boundaries.
Yeah, like clear expectations for work hours and availability. So people don't feel pressured to be checking emails all the time.
Especially after hours.
Especially after hours. That's huge these days.
It is. Technology makes it hard to separate work from life.
Yeah, it's blurry.
So the Wineland team has really created a system that supports well-being and business success.
They have.
But what about the rest of us? Who can't just overhaul our entire work culture?
Right.
Can we still prioritize time off as individuals?
Absolutely. It starts with recognizing that taking time off is an active choice.
Active choice.
Not something that just happens. You have to plan for it. Be intentional.
So how do we actually make that shift?
Start small. Focus on consistency.
Okay.
Instead of waiting for that big 2-week vacation, try adding short breaks into your daily or weekly routine.
You mean like mini breaks?
Exactly. Even just 15 minutes.
Like what?
A walk in the park. An hour of reading. Just a few minutes of mindful breathing.
These little things can really make a difference.
They can. It's like preventative maintenance.
Preventative maintenance.
For your mind and body.
I love that. Because usually we wait till we're totally burnt out.
Yeah, we push ourselves to the limit.
Before we allow ourselves to rest.
Like waiting for a breakdown before taking your car to the mechanic.
That's such a good analogy.
Yeah.
So these short breaks are easier to fit in.
Way easier. You don't have to wait for a big vacation.
And it's not just about how much time we take off.
Yeah.
It's about the quality of that time off, right?
You got it.
Like really disconnecting.
Yeah.
Being present in those moments of rest.
Yeah. Not scrolling through your phone or stressing about your to-do list.
That's hard.
It is. That's where mindfulness comes in.
Mindfulness.
Paying attention to the present moment without judgment.
That takes practice.
It does. But it can be really helpful to disconnect and recharge.
So even a short break can feel like a real escape if you approach it the right way.
Intentionally, with awareness.
And this connects back to what the Wineland team said about family.
Oh, yeah.
These little breaks could be a chance to reconnect with loved ones.
It doesn't have to be some big family trip.
Right.
Even just putting down your phone for an hour.
Yeah.
Playing a game with your kids, talking to your partner, calling a friend.
It's about being present in those moments.
Exactly. Not checking your to-do list or social media.
Being present is a gift.
To yourself and to the people you care about.
And in those moments of connection,
we
recharge our batteries and strengthen our bonds.
It's true. Those connections help us through tough times.
It's beautiful how time off isn't just about escaping. It's about reconnecting with what really matters.
It's what nourishes us.
Our loved ones, our passions, ourselves.
It's about creating a life that feels aligned and fulfilling.
Instead of always chasing something that's just out of reach.
Exactly.
But how do we actually make that shift?
Yeah.
Our culture is so focused on productivity.
It's hard to slow down.
It feels almost wrong.
It does. But remember, the Wineland team is proof that it's possible.
Yeah?
They're thriving in a tough industry. while still valuing time off.
And more people are realizing
It's
this,
becoming a trend.
that well-being matters.
More companies are getting it too.
Taking breaks isn't weak.
No,
It's a smart strategy.
for reaching your full potential.
This shift in mindset is key,
It is. When we see time off as an investment,
not an indulgence.
we're more likely to make it happen
It's like that saying,
once.
you can't pour from an empty cup.
I like that.
We need to take care of ourselves
To be there for others.
for our work, our families, our communities,
It's about recognizing our limits,
honoring our need to rest,
creating a life that's sustainable,
and joyful.
not just pushing till we're exhausted.
I think that's a really important shift for all of us,
It is. It's about reclaiming our time,
and using it to nourish ourselves.
our minds, our bodies, our souls.
And maybe we'll find that we're
Yeah.
more productive, more creative, more fulfilled.
when we take time to rest.
Exactly. But before we get into how to actually do that,
Okay.
let's talk about the proven benefits of time off.
All right.
What does the research tell us about the real impact of rest?
Let's dive in.
We've talked about how prioritizing time off can actually be strategic and not just a luxury, and that even small breaks can have a big impact.
Right.
But let's dig into the science of it all. What does the research actually say about the benefits of taking time off?
Well, the research is pretty clear, and it covers a lot of areas, from how our brains work to our physical health to our emotional well-being.
So give us some examples.
Sure, studies have shown that taking breaks can help us focus better,
Okay.
improve our problem-solving skills,
Yeah.
and even make us more creative.
So it's not just about feeling rested.
No.
It's about actually performing better
Yeah,
in all areas of our lives.
exactly. When we give our minds a break, they come back stronger and more energized. And this isn't just some theory. There's a whole area of research called restorative neuroscience.
Restorative neuroscience.
Yeah, it looks at how our brains actually benefit from downtime.
Fascinating. So our brains are wired to need breaks.
They are. It's not lazy or weak. It's essential.
And what about the other benefits?
Oh, there are plenty. Taking time off has been linked to lower stress,
Right.
better sleep, and even a stronger immune system.
So it's like hitting reset for our whole body.
Exactly.
But even with all this science backing us up,
Yeah,
a lot of people still struggle with the practical side of things.
I get it.
How do we actually make time for breaks when our schedules are already crazy and there's so much pressure to be productive?
It comes down to a mindset shift.
Yeah.
We have to stop seeing time off as a reward.
Like something we earn after we're exhausted.
Exactly. We need to see it as an investment,
In
our well-being and our long-term success.
So taking breaks isn't selfish.
Not at all.
It's actually a smart move
For reaching our goals.
in every part of life.
Exactly.
So how do we actually make this happen?
Well, you can start by scheduling time off.
Scheduling it.
Yeah. Like any other important appointment, put it in your calendar.
Interesting. And what else?
Be upfront with your colleagues and clients about your boundaries.
About when you're available and when you're not.
Exactly. Be proactive.
Not just hoping time off will magically appear,
Right. And remember, even small breaks can make a difference.
like we talked about before.
Yeah. A walk, a few minutes of meditation, even just stepping away from your screens to stretch.
Those little things add up.
They do.
Yeah.
They help us stay grounded and energized.
And they can be a chance to connect with our loved ones too,
Absolutely. Have a conversation, play a game, just be present with each other.
without distractions.
Exactly. That's the real beauty of time off.
It's not just about escaping
It's about reconnecting,
with the people we love, the things that bring us joy.
the things that make us feel alive,
And that's something we all need.
no matter how busy we are.
As we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
I want to leave you with a thought.
Okay.
What if, instead of asking, can I afford to take time off,
Yeah.
we asked, can I afford not to?
That's a good one. It makes you think.
When we invest in our rest,
Mm-hmm.
we're investing in our relationships, our work, our future.
We are. It all comes back around.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the importance of taking time off.
It's been a pleasure.
We hope it's inspired you to take care of yourselves and embrace the power of rest.
To recharge and come back stronger.
Until next time, remember, taking time off isn't a luxury. It's a necessity